everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name's Alexo Raye, and welcome to another video. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you clicked on today's video, and by the title of today's video, you already know what we are doing. I am so freaking excited because this is such a long-awaited video on my channel. This book has been recommended to me for probably over a year now, and I've always gone back and forth between, oh, should I read it or should I not read it? Is it overly hyped? We are finally picking it up in today's video, and I'm super pumped about it. In today's video, we are going to be reading Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. This is book 1 in the Shatter Me series. I am so excited because you guys have hyped it up to me now for so long, and it's time. It's finally time to pick this beauty up and give it a try. Going into this, I don't really know what to expect, what's going to be happening. At the top here, it says my touch is lethal, and it's crossed out, and it says my touch is power. I know that this takes place in a dystopian type of world, so that's going to be really interesting. I don't believe I've ever read anything that takes place in a dystopian world, so it's going to be new for me. I've always been nervous to get into this series because of that, and because I am a very heavy romance reader on my channel, but so many of you have reached out and said that there is a romance in this story that is just unbelievable, and I have to try it out and find out for myself. So, the moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, cratered by imperfections. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time, and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. In the electrifying first book in the Shatter Me series, Tara Mafi presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. This is going to be the first book I read of its kind, so I'm super excited to be doing it with you guys today. This is going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog just because it is book 1 in the series, so just in case some of you out there haven't read this, it's totally safe to watch. I'm just going to be showing you guys my real-time reactions to things and maybe sharing a few little book quotes along the way. But I'm very excited to see what this is all about, what the hype is all about. This is also my book club pick of the month. If you didn't know, I actually run my own little book club over on the app Fable. It's completely free. You just download it in the app store and you sign up, and you can join book clubs all over. But my book club is Alexa Raye's book club, and each month we pick out a book together as a club and we read it. So Shatter Me is January's book club pick. I just thought this gave me very January type of vibes. It's a super fun time. I definitely recommend joining, but we're gonna hop right into this. I didn't even tell you guys. Look how cute my crew neck is. Stop, I'm obsessed. So in the corner it says in my Shatter Me era, but it doesn't stop there. On the back it has the same thing, but it actually has book quotes going down it. How cute. How freaking cute is that? I'm literally obsessed. This isn't sponsored at all. I got this crew neck from Enlightened Soul Co. Definitely recommend. I am like so obsessed with the crew neck. Super cute and cozy, and it's what I'm going to be wearing throughout this entire reading vlog because I feel like it is only fitting that I wear this when starting this book series. So I'm super excited to jump into this book. I have no idea what to expect. This is a totally new type of read for me to jump into, but without further ado, let's hop in to the reading vlog. Okay guys, so it's a little bit later, as you can probably tell, because it's dark out. We are gonna jump right in to Shatter Me. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about this first page. It's just like an opening quote to the book. This is such a popular quote that I've heard many times before. It's by Robert Frost. I just want to share it with you guys because it's personally one of my favorites, and I think it's a really good one. So, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I've heard it before in other books. I've heard it in movies, stuff like that. So you're taking chances, you're taking risks, and I think that's just foreshadowing what Juliet's story is going to be like. But we are gonna jump right in and start reading. We're starting on chapter 1. I've been locked up for 264 days. Right away, this book is unlike any book I have ever read. It's definitely a very different type of writing style, but there was an author's note in the beginning of the book basically saying that the writing is supposed to show you what it's like to live inside Juliet's head. So there's a lot of words and sentences that are just being repeated over and over again. There's sentences being crossed out, and that's supposed to help us get a better insight into what Juliet's mind is like and what she's really feeling. It's only been one chapter, and these chapters are actually really short. This was only 4 pages long, but I'm already kind of like frazzled by the writing style because I'm not used to this type of writing. Having some of the sentences and like words crossed out is definitely like throwing me off a little bit, but I'm sure the more I keep going, the easier I'll probably get to read and I'll probably understand it more. But yeah, we've read chapter 1. 4 very short little pages. We're just kind of getting an insight into where Juliet is and what's kind of going on. She also has just gotten a roommate, which is weird, and she seems very timid right now because she's not used to having a roommate. That was chapter 1. It was a very interesting chapter. I'm nervous, but I'm also very intrigued by how the chapter left off, so we're gonna keep going and see what happens. We have just hit the 50-page mark. We're on chapter 9. It's really hard to read because of the sentences repeating so much and having some of them crossed out. It's definitely hard to read because it's so repetitive, but a plot twist just happened. Literally in chapter 8, a plot twist happened that I did not see coming. I was a bit shook when I read what I read, but the story is finally starting to take off and move along. It was kind of slow at first, but we're being 50 pages in. It's starting to take off now, so I guess that's a good sign. Juliet's cellmate, turns out his name is Adam. It seems like they may have known each other in the past somehow. I'm curious to know how they knew each other and what their relationship was. I don't think Adam knows who Juliet is, but I think Juliet remembers him from something or somewhere. I'm not really sure. We're starting to get an insight into the reestablishment, which is basically like this hierarchy, I guess you could say. They are in control of all the people and stuff like that. It seems like they're destroying the world they live in as they know it. I guess the reestablishment is getting rid of human history basically because they think that if we have human history, we'll just keep making the same mistakes knowing what our mistakes were previously. So the reestablishment is slowly destroying everything, which is like really scary and kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, we are on chapter 9 now. Even though it's kind of hard to read, I feel like I'm still kind of going through it pretty fast. We've only been reading for probably an hour now and we've read around 50 pages. I'm starting to get very like sucked in, I feel like. In chapter 8, we're kind of left off with this weird cliffhanger slash surprise. So I'm excited to keep going and like see what happens. I still don't know what to expect from this though, but we're gonna keep going. I don't know why I'm getting so tired. It's not even that late yet. I feel like whenever it gets dark out, my brain immediately goes to, it's time to go to bed. But we have just reached chapter 18, page 100. This story, guys, I feel like this is so crazy and scary in a weird way. Like, it's scary to think that this could be our world, which I guess is the whole point of reading about like a dystopian setting. It's a little scary. We are on chapter 18. Things are definitely escalating. I have very mixed feelings about Adam. I don't know if I trust him or not, and I don't know if I like him or not. I feel like I'm leaning towards liking him more than not liking him. I don't know. He's just giving me some type of vibe in this story, and I feel like the way he kind of looks out for Juliet, I don't know, it's very interesting. There's definitely something about Adam that separates him from the rest of the soldiers, and I feel like he's going to be a very special character in this story. I'm also getting really mixed feelings. I can't tell what his intentions are. I feel like he's supposed to be the bad guy, but at the same time, I get this weird vibe from him that he really is trying to look out for Juliet and be like there for her, but at the same time, he's just giving me some bad vibes. So definitely mixed feelings. I'm leaning more towards the bad side with him, and I don't think I really trust him at all. Is this going to be like a love triangle? I feel like it's not, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting this weird vibe that there is going to be a love triangle. I feel like I have so many theories about where this story can go, and since I've never read anything like this before, it's really just up in the air what could happen. I just want to know what happens. I also feel like chapter 17, we left off on a very iffy note. We just read another 50 pages. I feel like I'm organizing this reading vlog by going every 50 pages, and I feel like it's probably the best way to do it because every 50 pages I'm just in shock. Anyways, I am on page 153, chapter 24. We are probably almost halfway through the book, I'd say, and I feel like we're starting to fly through it. It's definitely a very fast and easy read, which I am very surprised about because going into this, it wasn't starting off as fast of a read for me because, again, there's like sentences that are crossed out and a lot of repetitiveness. It was kind of tripping me up in the beginning, but now that I'm used to it, I'm actually starting to fly through this book and I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely a very different vibe from the typical mushy romance books that I read, but it's super fun, and I love that it's so different from anything I've ever read. Adam keeps surprising me, and we're literally only about halfway through. He is just full of surprises in this story. I feel like I have all the butterflies coming from Adam Kent. He is just something. I'm definitely getting the insta love type of vibe from this book. I feel like there's an immediate love just sparking. The story is definitely taking a turn that I didn't expect. I was kind of on my heels when reading these last few chapters. Adam Kent is probably my favorite right now. He's quite the charmer, if you ask me. On the other hand, I feel like it's still a bad person, still like the bad guy, but sometimes he says things that just get me, that I'm just like, oh, do I like the bad guy? There's this one scene in the chapter where Warren and Juliet are talking, and I swear it literally sends me. I'm not in denial, Juliet says. Of course you are. You don't know it yet, Juliet, but you're a very bad girl, he says, clutching his heart. Just my type. Literally sent me. But we are on chapter 24, page 153. We're gonna keep going. I really want to see what happens. I don't know how far we'll get tonight, but I'm gonna try and get as far as I can because I literally can't put this down right now. Look what I made! It looks so good! So just a little recap on what's happened in the last 50 pages. It's literally wild how everything is going right now. I feel like things are starting to move along so fast, and it's just every chapter I read, I'm kind of left in shock because I'm like, what just happened? One, Juliet is starting to, I guess you could say, like really discover her true powers and strength. She's starting to discover more to her touch, and I think eventually that will just help lead her towards finding herself and discovering who she really is and what she'll want to do in the world. Second, Warner is still crazy. I feel like he is just so obsessed with Juliet. It's a little unhealthy. That's all I have for Warner. He's got an unhealthy obsession, I'd say. He's definitely got some girl problems. I don't know how I feel about the insta-love in the story. I've never been a really big fan of insta-love. I really love watching people's relationships develop over time. The insta-love in this story just kind of catches me off guard because I'm like, how did we get to this point? How do you already know that you love each other? But of course, there are parts of the story that we're not seeing. Although we get little flashbacks to her life, we still don't see like the full story. Take from that what you will. So we just finished up chapter 30. We're on page 205. I have to say, like, the last 3 chapters have been totally insane. Literally at the end of each chapter, I just take a moment and I'm like, what just happened? What did I just read? This book is definitely filled of so many surprises and turns that I just did not see coming. In the beginning of this book, I had like my own ideas, theories about what was going to happen in it. It just keeps surprising me every chapter, which is really cool. I love books that keep me on my toes and keep me sucked in and keep me wanting to read on. So this book so far, I am literally addicted to. I'm obsessed with it. Although I said I'm not super into the insta love, I'm still loving it because I feel like there's going to be so much more to the relationships in this book. There is something that happens between Juliet and Warner that really threw me off, and now I have like a whole different idea of what's going to happen in this story. Juliet just met James, so we are gonna keep going. Okay guys, but I wanted to stop in, talk a little bit about Shatter because we have read another 50 pages. I actually spent yesterday kind of reading on and off, and I read 50 pages yesterday. Yesterday was actually a pretty busy day because we were doing a lot of running around and stuff like that. We did a coffee shop work day, and then we actually did a trivia night for dinner, which was so much fun. We did like this all or nothing round where you basically had to write in the answer, and if you got it right, you doubled your points, or if you got it wrong, you basically lost all of your points. We wound up losing all like 170 of our points, and we were tied for third with 2 other people who also lost all of their points. So I only read 50 pages yesterday, and then I've kind of just spent the whole day reading another 50 pages, so we're gonna do a little catch up really quick. We got to chapter 38, page 250. Wow, this book, not what I expected at all. In those 50 pages, I feel like the dystopian world is really starting to come to light in the book. There are just things that people use and do that simply do not exist in our world as we know it today. And just reading about all that just kind of made me think about how scary the world could be. We also meet Kenji. I feel like he's the funny side character that everyone's going to love. I think he's funny, but at the same time, I don't know if like we should trust him. I haven't decided if I trust Kenji yet, and I feel like it's too soon to make the assumption that he could be a good guy or a bad guy. Adam Kent, again, he's so sweet, and I don't even know, like, I love how protective and sweet he is towards Juliet. He's also very protective of loved ones and the people around him. I just really love that trait in characters when it's not all about the main character or just the romance, like they also look after and take care of people around them. That's exactly what Adam Kent does, and I really love that about him. He's honestly just like the sweetest character. We only have, I think, like 20 or 30 pages to go, and then the book is just done. But the last 50 pages I read, like so much happened, and I'm still trying to process everything that's been happening. I want to say that like I saw it all coming, but really I didn't see it coming. I'm taking time to process that right now. It was definitely a very emotional 50 pages. I could not stop turning the page. I just kept going and going because I had to know what happened next. It was like the craziest 50 pages of the book, I think. I always felt like with the reestablishment, like because they are like the big bad guys, that there had to be something or someone out there who had their own little group of people who was like trying to rebel against the reestablishment, trying to turn things around. Well, this is just like literally, it's so crazy, these last 50 pages, and I'm trying to talk about them in a way that won't spoil the book for you guys, but it's like so hard. Like I don't even know what to say. I also feel like Juliet is not as alone as she thinks she is in the world. I don't know. I can't say anymore because I'm literally going to spoil it for you guys, and I just can't do that to you. But I guess basically what I'm saying is that there may or may not be like a good side in this story. I don't actually know for sure yet, but I feel like there may be a good side to it. Opposite from the reestablishment. We're gonna keep going and see how this ends. I'm nervous for it to end because I'm almost nervous that it's going to leave off on a cliffhanger, and I'm not ready for a cliffhanger. I'm probably going to go on Amazon once I finish this book to order the rest of the series. I have just finished up Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. We just finished up the last 25 pages, and I am like so excited to continue this series. I haven't been this excited to keep reading on in a series in a very long time. It definitely leaves off on a point where you're like, okay, I need to know what happens next. I need to get the second book ASAP. I just need to know where they go from here. I'm just like in shock right now at how much I enjoyed this book. I was immediately sucked in. I couldn't put it down. I had to see what happened next. The characters in this story are just so incredible, and I'm just so excited to get the rest of the series and keep moving forward with it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even want to come up with my own theories or ideas on what's going to happen because this is just such a cool and unique story. I just want to stay surprised and excited about it. Juliet is such a cool and badass character. I love watching her evolve throughout the entire story and really just becoming like a stronger, better version of herself. This last chapter, it just made me so happy, and then there was like a 2-page epilogue that also just made me so happy, and I'm just like so happy with this book, and I can't wait to read on and see what happens. This is definitely a book series that I could see being turned into a huge movie franchise. I would eat this up so much if it was turned into a movie. I really love the whole idea of this book, the concept of it, the dystopian world. It's just, it's so cool. I am just amazed by how this went. I did not think I was going to enjoy this, and I wound up enjoying it so much more than I could have ever imagined enjoying a book. This is easily a 5-star read for me. I am so excited to move on and read the rest of the series. If you read this book, comment down below what your rating of it was, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Being someone who is not used to this type of genre, who went into this book with not very high hopes, I was very blown away. Let me know down below if you guys would like to see another reading vlog with all the rest of the books in the series, because I think that would be a super fun thing to do. That is all for the Shatter Me reading vlog. This has been such a highly requested book and video on my channel, and I'm so happy we were finally able to do it. I am literally blown away. I can't stop saying it because this book was just that amazing, and it's all because of you guys, because you guys recommended me this. So thank you so much. I am so excited to move forward with it. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, your night, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.